Very special Friday edition of the Coming Inside Wave podcast.
Amen. Very special.
Yeah, very special.
Wait, why is it special?
Because
every episode is special.
Yeah.
First of all three of us lived since the last episode, and
True.
we keep showing up.
The fact that I haven't died is extraordinary.
Also, the fact that we just do this podcast every week is just, I continue to be impressed with us.
We still have a half hour for one of us to die.
That's true.
That's true. We fucking totally jinxed it.
I definitely just ate yogurt that expired yesterday.
Ooh.
It's yogurt. I feel
I
like
think it's just going to make you stronger. I think that sort of thing just makes you stronger.
What happens when yogurt expires? Does all the probiotics turn into antibiotics? Or
wow! Did you just invent science?
Yes, science.
You're
a science correspondent.
Dropped our
science.
Wow, that was some science.
Yeah.
Guys, we have so many new listeners. It's crazy.
What?
We do?
Yeah.
Well, welcome, new listeners.
Yeah, we're glad to have you guys.
We have 3 new ones from my office. Ted, Justin, Diana, and we're trying to get Jen Goldberg.
Jen Goldberg, come
fucking
on.
listening. She tells me yesterday, she goes, I downloaded them all. They're all locked and loaded, and I'm going to listen to them on my way to work. I was like, she actually talks like that. I talk to her like that just because that's how she speaks.
Jen, I would highly recommend starting with the most recent podcast and working backwards, as the early episodes
hate us less.
Friggin'
That is verbatim what I tell people when I tell them to download the podcast.
I just tell people to not listen to anything more than like 5 podcasts ago.
Wait, so hold on. I think as an exercise, we should try to imitate the original podcast, like some of the early podcasts. Let's try and capture it.
Okay, I'll start.
Hey. Wait, go ahead. No. Go ahead. Are we frozen? Is it frozen?
I'm gonna have to sign off again and sign back on you guys.
I think Byram's frozen.
I'm gonna have to.
Did I do a good job of being frozen? I did a fucking great job of being frozen.
That's awesome.
A really good job of being frozen.
So good. I was worried for a second you guys would see me breathing, but you didn't. Except I don't have a giant mirror behind me because I'm not recording from my room.
Critics' Choice Award for Best Being Frozen.
Dude, that was awesome.
To Byram Razai.
Thank you. Thanks.
Best Frozen since Frozen.
Before we came online, I was talking about the process of trying to feed my 6-month-old daughter pureed sweet potatoes.
She's such a jagaloon.
So first of all, she definitely does not recognize sweet potatoes as food. Like, you put it in her mouth, and she's like annoyed that it's in her mouth and doesn't know what to do with it. Like she doesn't grasp like swallowing when it's not like in concert with sucking something. So like she just has this sweet potato pile like on her tongue, and she's like super mad about it until eventually she figures out how to spit it out.
I'm almost 40 and I don't recognize sweet potatoes as food, so I don't know if it's gonna get better for her.
Yeah.
Byram, you're not almost 40.
He is.
I'm pushing.
Can't say that because I'm closer to 40 than you are.
No, Byram has accelerated aging.
I have progeria.
Yeah, exactly. That's why he starred in that movie, Benjamin Button.
You know, I was watching TV yesterday, and they were talking about, because I basically didn't leave for work because it was too cold in my apartment to get out of bed.
That's reasonable.
Yeah.
So I started the morning off by watching a little bit of Regis and Kelly, as I normally do. Actually, it's not even Regis and Kelly anymore. It's Kelly and Michael. Anyway,
Michael Strahan.
Bradley Cooper was the guest, and they were talking about all that he's accomplished, and he's an Academy Award nominee, and he's a Broadway star right now. And yesterday was his 40th birthday. And I was like, fuck. Like, I felt so close to 40. Just knowing that, like, all he's accomplished, and he just turned 40. And, I mean, we've accomplished a ton.
A ton of podcasts.
If this podcast is all I ever do, that'll be fine.
Me too.
I'm worried about our great-great-great-great-grandchildren unearthing this and being like, what the fuck happened?
I'm
My
excited.
tombstone is going to have @Sideways the Pod how long.
Our grandkids are going to be like, what was wrong with the technology in 2015 that this is what they left us? We record as if it's 1974. Like, we're on a fucking really, really basic computer.
You know,
that-
when the signals of this podcast reach the aliens that have been monitoring us for decades, they might become so infuriated that they decide it's time to abort.
But what if they have all of their weapons fixed on us right now, and they're like gonna explode our planet? They like really want us to die, but then all of a sudden, the first Coming In Sideways podcast comes across their wire, and they're like, what?
This is
Wait, these
so-
humans are really struggling.
Yeah, we should not explode them. We
They
should
seem-
help them.
They seemed so arrogant before, but now they seem so frail and
So very
incompetent.
hapless.
They're gonna be like, we had no idea humans shat so much. We're afraid to blow them up. We don't have enough windshield wiper fluid on our fucking spaceship. You know, speaking of computers, I saw last night The Imitation Game. Have you guys seen it?
No, but you've been talking about it nonstop. I'm excited.
Holy shit! It is so. I did not want to see it. One of my coworkers is obsessed with Benedict Cumberbatch, and I think he's the weirdest looking person. And she's just in love. And she was like, I really want to see this movie because it's getting a lot of praise or whatever. So I went to go see it. And it's basically, like, long story short, no spoiler, it has a lot to do with everything that's a big topic now these days. But this dude fucking invented the computer to help beat the Nazis to win World War II. And, like, no one talked about him ever until now.
Right.
It's fucking crazy. Like, we are his legacy.
Oh, this is about
Fucking-
Alan Turing?
Yeah.
Oh, no shit.
Yeah, and we are his legacy. Like, he died so that we could record this podcast.
So he's like the Jesus of computers.
Yeah. But
He actually kind of is.
yeah. He was on a top
he's
secret
like
mission.
Jesus.
He is Jesus, yeah.
Yeah, he is Jesus.
Do you- So, if I remember his life story correctly, he had to be chemically castrated because he was illegally gay, right?
Yeah.
Wow.
So he was a war hero, but it was so top secret that they couldn't do anything about it, right? And so he wasn't getting any credit for what he had just done. But someone had fucking researched him and found out that he was gay. And they told him you can either go to prison or you can take these pills that'll chemically castrate you. And he was like, well, I don't want to part with what I'm doing, which is like building this computer. So he chose the castration. But
Wow.
it's crazy, you know? Anyway, he was basically, I don't even know what the word is, jailed, I want to say. He basically was only recently pardoned by Queen Elizabeth.
Yes, he was.
After all those fucking years. She finally pardoned him for being gay.
For being gay.
Well, for being fucking jailed due to his love of penis.
Right.
Love
right.
of cack.
They just
That's
didn't want to.
actually, that's actually what she said.
Yeah.
She was wearing a pillbox hat, and she goes,
Alan.
Alan, you're free to love cack. He's
Yeah.
dead. He's dead
We're
now.
sorry that you persecuted you for loving cack.
Yeah.
But you can now
I love cack too.
move about using cack as much as you like.
Is that in the theaters, or can I get it in my home?
It's in the theaters, but it's like not playing in many theaters now because it's been out for a while. You can, I'm sure you could find a version online. You can definitely find a Korean subtitle version.
Maybe, is there anything on Amazon Fuego? I feel like they have.
Well, that's what I would want because
Yeah.
we're unfortunately Leah's banned from theaters. Because
Oh, God, she's such a menace.
she's a menace. She's a total menace.
You should go to the theater that I went to yesterday. So I went to this theater. Did you guys, when you lived in New York, did you ever go to the theater on 23rd Street between 7th and 8th?
I don't think so. Is it like
It
some?
used-
Is it like?
Isn't that where our office was?
Yeah, it's down the block from our old office, and it used to be a Clearview Theaters. Now it's Bowtie, and they don't let you buy tickets on Fandango, which I thought was weird because every theater lets you do that. So I told my coworker, I was like, we'll just walk over there tomorrow and get tickets because this movie's been out for a while, and no, it's not gonna be packed. We go over there, and the guy goes, all right, you want tickets? Flips the screen around and he goes, select your seats. It's like it's like theater style. Like you have to pick seats.
Ah.
You get assigned seats. And so we chose seats and we went in there and it was like really comfortable, like leather chairs. It was really, really nice. But it was crazy that you now have reserved seats, so you know exactly where you're going to sit before you go in the theater. We didn't sit in our seats because I found better ones, so I was like, fuck it. Just sit these over here. But the movie is incredible. Incredible. I also saw Wild last week, which was basically my life story. Woman that gets addicted to heroin goes for a really long walk.
Oh yeah, that is totally your
That is-
life story.
So she also gets fucked a lot. She goes crazy and she becomes like a sex freak. And I think she just wants to air out her vagina and just goes for a really long walk. And
That's
I'm like,
rational.
yeah,
That's
who hasn't been there?
Yeah.
That's how I lost all this weight.
You know what? You know what? I just need to go air out my vagina. I'll be back in a couple of weeks.
I'm gonna just go squat in the ocean, let it rinse me out, and I'm gonna air out by going for a really long walk. Thanks, Reese Witherspoon. Okay, that's my entertainment segment.
I feel
science entertainment.
I like it. I like it a lot.
that's strong. I'm looking forward to seeing both movies, even the Byram airing his vagina out.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that one. The sequel's coming out right now. I'm literally sitting. I have one leg in my pocket and the other one is playing a piano. Vagina is just flopping in the wind.
Reese Witherspoon's Native American name is actually Byron airing out his vagina. Translated, roughly translated.
Guys, are we gonna address the biggest fucking feud since feudalism?
Oh, let's do.
Yeah, let's just fucking put it out there, Jen.
I gotta remember
Oh yes, there is some tensione, as they say in Italy.
They definitely say tensione in Italy.
As they say en français.
Yeah.
There's some tensione.
The things that remind me of Italy are prosciutto, mozzarella, and
tensione.
Hey, I'm walking here.
Yeah, what's the tensione?
Hey.
Hey.
Liz used to actually, Liz used to always speak it. She used to say, "Cosa fai?" That's one thing that I remember from.
You know what else?
Is
really common Italian phrase: a skigi fish market. You know how they say McDonald's in Japanese?
Macadonaldo.
Macadonaldo. It's like, guys, are you trying to pretend you're not reappropriating everything? Just because you're Asian and you're saying it doesn't mean it doesn't sound Italian.
That was the only sentence that I learned in Japanese before I went there. And it's the only one I used. Sumimasen, Macadonaldo wa doku desu ka? Excuse me, where's McDonald's? Because I was fucking sick of eating rice. Sorry,
Totally.
Getting back to Eric Choi. Eric Choi and Jen Savage. Jen, you were born in Japan. You are part Asian. You guys can work on this and make this work. The two of you should be friends.
There's too much strife in the Asian community for you guys not to be on the
There's
same
too much
page.
Asian on Asian fighting. Gotta fucking fix this.
Yeah, there were protests on 93 North in Boston yesterday about all the Asian on Asian violence. Actually.
Wait, is that didn't people like sink their arms into like a bucket of concrete?
Yeah, I think they just like chained themselves to barrels, and it was just a whitewash. It was just white people, and it was.
Why? They're protesting against racism?
But yeah, it was like it was Black Lives Matter.
But what about all the black people that are trying to go to work?
Totally. I think that was the whole argument. That's basically what every single person in Boston said. It was just like, guys, you can't, like, we get it. But I don't know. I could see it. I went to the post office yesterday, and there was this guy behind the counter, and he's like, I don't understand, like, what these people are protesting. They're protesting something that happened half a country away. And I'm like, one, like, in some parts of the world, half a country away is, like, on your doorstep. In Nigeria, for example. But
also, right. I'm sorry. Go ahead. I cut you off.
Institutionalized, like, they think the fact that institutionalized racism only happened in Ferguson, that's, like, the only place where it happened. They're, like, Boston is, like, a hotbed of institutionalized racism. And so more people should be protesting here more than anywhere. But chaining yourselves to barrels in the middle of the highway, not necessarily.
I understand, like, you wanting to, like, do something. But the story here was not, like, people are mad about
No, yeah.
The story was fucking assholes snarl up traffic for all the poor slobs trying to go to their fucking shitty jobs.
Right, exactly. And then it makes the whole movement look like fucking yahoos, and there's gonna be no support for it at all, which is a bummer because it's a serious problem.
You know, I experienced racism in Boston.
Yeah.
It's kind of funny. Like, I always tell the story, but it was the night of September 11th.
Oh.
And my philosophy teacher emailed our class and was like, since we didn't have class this morning, you guys should still get together in small groups and discuss the day's events. So like I had nothing to do. Like school was canceled indefinitely, and like everyone was depressed. Go into this room, and there's like 6 of us white kids, and it's like a rich Irish Catholic school, and I guess everyone just felt comfortable in the room. And they start going around in the circle talking shit about Muslims, and I was like, oh my god.
Jesus.
Oh
my
when it was
god.
my turn to talk, I was like, I bet you guys are gonna wish I went first. And they're like, why? I was like,
My name is Sean O'Sullivan. I'm from Western
curious.
Massachusetts.
I just started speaking in an Irish accent because I was too afraid to tell them I'm Muslim. But
Yeah.
it sounded Jamaican, and they're like, are you?
Everything is everything.
Everything,
Watch this that chip on the left hand side. Wicked every time, girl wine.
Yeah. Yeah, Boston is so racist it doesn't even know that it's racist. It's like this same way that I'm racist. Like I don't even know that I'm racist. My racism is so prevalent that it's like the reverse of how most people are. I'm like super nice to Muslim people when I see them. They might not even be Muslim. They might just be brown. But I'm like
Me too. I like
more
smile
nice.
and wave.
Yeah, like the guy to the people at Dunkin' Donuts. I'm like, hi, how are you? How's everything going? Like knowingly being like, I know you're probably going through something right now. Oh,
You're not in this alone. Boko Haram is
exactly.
my problem too, Sunita.
Exactly.
And she goes,
But I'm like,
what?
really-
I'm from fucking Wellfleet. Stupid ass bitch. I was your neighbor.
Totally. This is a suntan. I'm not from Iran. And I always pronounce it. I'm like, oh, you're from Iran? Pronounce it all knowingly.
There was a, speaking of racism, there was this black guy who worked with both of my brothers, like legit black. He had an Italian name, which I'm assuming he gave himself, right? And he would always talk about Italy, and he's just like very, very proud to be Italian. And one day he baits my brother. He had like a copy of the New York Post, and there was a black soccer player on there, and he's like sitting next to my brother, and he goes, check this out, you know, this blank. My brother looked at him and was like, what? And he goes, yeah, can you believe they put this blank on the fucking cover of the newspaper? And my brother's like, so uncomfortable. And so my brother was like, this guy is fucking delusional. Like, he tells people, he's not even like, I'm sure there are, you know, black people in Italy who've moved. I think Kobe Bryant was born in Italy. He lived there for a while.
His dad played professional basketball there.
Yeah, so you can be, you know, a citizen of Italy, but you're not ethnically Italian. But this guy was fucking blatantly racist, and my brother's like, I'm not gonna fucking smile or like not in agreement with anything that you're saying right now. You're definitely like out of your fucking mind. But it was so fucking. It reminded me of that Dave Chappelle skit where he's blind and he doesn't know he's black, but he's like super racist. And he divorces his white wife because he finds out that she liked black people because she married him. That's what that reminded me of. So shout out to, his name was Vittorio Bugatti.
Oh, Vittorio.
That's a sweet name.
And
I
I would stalk him on Facebook because I was so fucking furious at this guy. This was like early 2000s, and he would use, I mean, this was like when Facebook first came out or whatever, but he would, I guess, like edit his own photos to make himself look lighter, but he looked green in all of his photos.
That's
I'd rather be
like a
green than
painful
black.
life.
Yeah, it sounds really awkward.
Miserable.
I would also like to harken back to the fact that, many words that were minted on Coming in Sideways, you recently minted a word called agreeance. We were in agreeance.
Is agreeance actually a word?
No.
Oh, accordance.
Accordance or agreement?
God. Wait, which one of us did it? Me?
If I wasn't going to catch it, Eric Choi would have.
Oh, yeah. Eric Choi is probably listening to a live hangout right now.
So
Totally.
dictionary.com says agreeance, now rare, the act or state of agreement.
Oh, wow.
Agree-
So you totally used it perfectly.
Agreeance is a word that seems to be continually reinvented and recycled. The term first appeared in 16th century and enjoyed greatest popularity 18th and mid-19th century. Since then, it has fallen into disuse, most likely unaware of the word's history. Modern writers who recoined the term seem to like how it sounds, even though
Disuse.
it adds nothing to the meaning of its workhorse counterpart, agreement.
Those are pretty.
Wait, which one of us used the word agreeance?
You did.
Oh, I forget everything I say.
I'm not going to be in agreement with you, you said. Well, now that I'm going to start using that word now that
I would
know
start
what
using
actually the word is.
disuse. but I'm not gonna use it properly.
Unusement, I think, is the proper.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm gonna use that to ask people if they're using something. I'll be like, this use? Or I'm gonna point to like a photo of someone who I think looks like the person I'm talking to. I'm like, this use? I'm definitely not gonna use it.
And then if it's more than one person, you can be like, disuse, guys?
That's gonna come into my head in a meeting later.
Totally.
Which use?
Disuse?
Disuse, guys?
Disuse or that use?
Yes, disuse.
Hey, boss, lift my elbow or my ass. This use?
Speaking of
Which
sound,
just reminds me of dick poop. I hope we're going to talk about dick poop.
it's not a word.
I don't know what happened. You guys, please, does anybody know the story of dick poop?
Yeah, so the president of the Academy was presenting the nominees yesterday. They were talking about the Oscar nominees, and the guy's name is Dick Pope. And during the segment, they're not showing her, but they're showing like clips of the movies and like the nominees' names. And we'll tweet this out. I have the link to it. So the guy's name was Dick Pope, and so she's just like right before it, she's reading like Polish names. So she's definitely like fucking struggling, and then she just goes Dick Poop. And no one said anything. It's fucking a magical moment.
I can't stop giggling about it.
She's
Dick
friend of
poop.
the pod.
Dick poop.
She's definitely a friend of the pod.
She definitely is. I hope Dick poop is too.
I like it. I was just reading the article. There are many funny tweets.
Yes, exactly. I love things that make the internet funny.
Yeah.
As opposed to like infuriating.
Yeah, and self-righteous.
Sad, gross, pathetic.
Yeah, exactly. Horrifying.
On the subject of sounds, I would like to compliment you both on your ability to not make whatever sound we were making last week. That's really great.
Wow, that's a really good praise point.
That was definitely me. I think I was holding my microphone like a giant penis, and I just didn't know what to do with it. And it was like, oh!
You're like, this is how Jennifer Hudgens held it on Idol.
I didn't want to say anything, but yeah, it was definitely you, Byram.
Yeah, because remember last week I was like, oh, do I sound better? And you're like, yeah, when you don't play with your microphone. And I think that was...
It didn't make me like specifically want to hide in your toilet and attack you in your most vulnerable moment, but it kind of did.
Well, if we went back to the tape from last week's podcast, you'd see evidence of me holding the microphone like a saxophone. Like, so there should have never been confusion as to who it was, because all we have to do is go back to the tape, and it's like me like fucking Bill Clinton just like jazzing it out.
What would it sound like if you were playing that saxophone right now?
I would definitely be disusing that saxophone.
I appreciate that use of the saxophone.
Yeah.
This
use, but that use.
You know, I went to a class on Monday.
Oh my God, was it your amazing one-day life success class?
No.
Amazing one-day billion-dollar life success class where you
just reminded me of the fucking birth control. One day, yeah. One day, yeah.
Did you just make up a birth control jingle?
What's that one day commercial? It's like is it birth control or laxative? It's one of those. It's like
I don't know. They're both the same thing.
Yeah. We should write jingles on this podcast.
Birth controls and laxatives are the same things. You just poop out different objects.
No, I took the anatomy of a one-liner class.
Oh, nice. Oh, I should take that.
Oh, no, don't. So I show up. Let me just tell you that I show up to this class. It's at the People's Improv Theater, and I had such a fucking amazing experience in my improv class that I was literally chomping at the bit for this class. Like, I could not wait to get to it. I was like, I'm going to learn so much. I fucking bought a moleskin notebook solely for taking notes for this class. The teacher was the least funny person I've ever met in my life. He was just so dry. He was nervous. He was like so uncomfortable in front of the classroom. Huh. He just went through like stuff that he had researched, like what types of jokes there are and examples of wordplay. But his jokes were so bad, and everyone in the class was really bad. Like he had asked people, like, "Do you have any jokes that you want to work on?" And the jokes people came up with, and I was like, "Wow, I can't." And it was a 3-hour class. The most entertaining person in the class was this gentleman who had Asperger's, who was like super entertaining, and he wasn't apologetic. Like he was making fart noises, he was cursing, and I was like thoroughly entertained by him. But the class was such a fucking waste.
Did he say like I have Asperger's,
No,
or you just kind of like inferred it from?
I inferred it. He kept getting up and checking on stuff that wasn't behind him, and so I was like, this has to be. As a matter of fact, I didn't even disuse the inference of him having Asperger's. The girl next to me, who I'm friends with, wrote it on her notepad because I drew a big penis on her notebook because we weren't really using anything to take notes. And then she made the penis into an arrow and wrote, "I think he has Asperger's." And then I wrote, "Ask him out." That was how we spent the class.
Well, I'm sorry to hear it wasn't as productive as you'd hoped. It didn't turn your life around.
I would love to learn how to write a one-liner, though. I think that would be a little bit of a key to my comedic success. My jokes are all really long.
I'll send you the notes that I barely have notes, but there's a couple of books that he recommended reading, and so I wrote the names of those down. And he basically, it's funny because his stuff is not funny, but he's written for a bunch of Comedy Central roasts.
You know, I think there's a big element of comedy that's like not about whether or not you're funny.
Yeah, totally.
You know, it's like sort of any other. It's a business, and it's about like positioning yourself correctly, and doing a lot of the like hustle stuff. Yeah. Because the people that are the most successful in comedy are not always the funniest. Sometimes they're the funniest.
And for example, Kevin Hart, who I think is the anti-funny.
I actually think he's funny.
Humor. Really?
I like his stand-up. I
hate him.
Yeah. He wears a lot of leather pants, but I think he's pretty funny.
I think being a professional comedian is a lot more about effort than it is about like natural ability. And about
like understanding like crowd dynamic. Yeah, totally. I guess, and the effort to like keep doing things over and over again until you understand what makes people laugh. And it's tough because there's different things make different people laugh, and that's like the hardest thing. Right.
I mean, because you take the funniest person in the world and you pop them up on stage in front of a mic and they just eat a giant dog's asshole.
Right. Yeah. Exactly. And it's like, depending on how the crowd feels, it could be like a completely different night. Like it's super bizarre.
Not a giant dog with a regular size asshole. I mean, just a dog
like
with a giant asshole. Yeah, like a baboon.
Baboon asshole.
Yeah.
Have you guys ever been to the supermarket and seen those squashes that look like baboons' assholes? I always just want to walk into the middle of the produce department and be like, look at this squash that looks like a baboon's asshole!
Is there a website for, like, fucking provocative squash?
There should be.
Provocative squash is the name of this podcast,
Yeah, dude.
But I really was gonna go with wait, what was the name?
Provocative squash.
Oh, I think the title was gonna be The Biggest Feud Since Feudalism, but the subtitle can be Provocative Squash.
When we see Jen next week or whenever we go to Florida, she's gonna say, "Guys, my favorite podcast is probably Provocative Squash."
It's French.
As they say en français.
En français.
You had a show this week.
I did. I had a show on Wednesday night,
awesome.
And I sent out...
Also known as Wednesday.
Wednesday Nacht. And I was super excited about it. I sent out an invitation to all my friends, and I was like, holla, check me out. And I show up to the venue. Show's supposed to be at 8 o'clock. I show up to the venue at 7:50, and all the lights are off, and the doors are locked. And I was like, oh, fuck my
And this guy is great.
Luckily, nobody that I had invited came, except for my wonderful friends Molly and Justin, because they are so awesome. And they were at dinner around the corner, and so I called them, and I'm like, what the fuck? These guys are fucking with me. Like, this is just some sort of, like, comedy hazing thing, like, blah, blah, blah. And Molly's like, all right, well, just, like, see if you can find a phone number, call the guy. Like, yeah. So I go back to my email, and I look in my email, and the subject line, so I had invited everyone to come to Nick's Comedy Stop. The subject line of the email that this dude had sent me was Laugh Boston Open Mic. I had gone to the completely wrong club. Womp womp. So I fucking Kermit the Frogged myself a cab and You guys remember that Muppets Take Manhattan? He jumps into the road in front of, or was it Gonzo? I think it was Gonzo.
Could you do me a favor? I'm not quite getting it. Could you pantomime that for me?
Yes, absolutely.
We need more light on you, but I did grasp the desperation.
The sun definitely helped.
So I jumped into a cab and I said to laugh Boston and step on it, and he did. And so we got there like 7 minutes later, but I was still like 5-6 minutes late to the performance, and the lineup was all set. Like they were like having the pre-show meeting, and I like run in like fucking blonde ditzy asshole, and I'm like, I'm this hole, I'm sorry, and everybody hated me. So they put me up third, and I went up third, and I fucking killed it.
Yeah, buddy.
Killed it.
Do we have any footage or?
Well, Molly sent me the first minute of it, but her stupid sister-in-law called her in the middle of my performance, and so it's like broken into 2 pieces. So I'll send you the pieces when I get it.
Cool.
Did you try any new material while you were there that you could kind of reproduce here?
No, but the joke that has become kind of like, I think the joke that I feel like really really good about is it's the second vagina joke. Do you guys remember that one?
I have. It's a very discomforting joke.
It's a very discomforting joke, but the part that most people laugh at is when so I've expanded it to now call it my seasonal affect disorder vagina, because I'm always frowning because it's the winter time, because it's seasonal affect disorder. So I take my sad vagina down to the doctor's office and I go, Doc, this is terrible. You got to help me. I'm growing a second vagina. And she goes, Liz, that is such bad news because you can't even feed the one you have.
Oh.
That got a standing ovation at a stand-up comedy open mic the other night. And it was a standing ovation by one guy, but I was really proud of it because this guy is a really funny Boston comedian named Nick Ortolani. Shout out to Nick Ortolani.
So for people who haven't heard the joke before, you're referring to the crevice from when you frown that appears in your forehead.
Crevice in between my eyebrows.
Yeah.
My second vagina.
Well, congratulations on killing.
Thanks.
Yeah.
And I thought
I
thought I was gonna like miss the show, but I ended up actually making it to the show. And I think I was more proud of myself about like making it to the show and like remaining calm.
That's awesome.
Like I almost bailed on the whole thing.
So is there like a network you tapped into for stand-up? Is there
no?
It's just
I'm like
now...
still like wildly outside of the network, and I can't figure out what the like solution is to like breaking my way in. But I think I need to be nicer, which has been a problem my entire life.
But I was always under the impression that like stand-up comedians were like sort of misanthropic loners, but there is like a tribe.
I mean, nope. It's like just another fucking situation where I feel like a total shit-faced outsider. And I'm not shit-faced drunk. I don't know why I said shit-faced.
Just your face is covered in
covered in shit. I feel like I walked into these open mics and I had shit on my face.
You're like, don't you throw tomatoes anymore?
Yeah, you guys throw shit now. But yeah, so I think I might need to like be more friendly, or like just not give a fuck. I might just never get any success because I'm just gonna be.
It's gonna be tough though, because there are people out there who like you under normal circumstances you would never speak to. If the people that were in my class plan on being my peers in the comedy world, I'm nervous because I didn't want to sit next to them for 3 hours, let alone. And I actually told everyone I have a podcast. So if you're listening to this, I really did like you. I love you.
I wasn't talking about you. I was talking about the other person.
Yeah, the other class. That was
right. Yeah, the other class, the other person.
They were so not funny. It was making me angry, and then they were like asking such stupid questions,
Yeah.
But yeah, it's gonna be hard to be friends with those people. I think you have to. I think also like for you to be successful, I feel like there's an element of being antisocial because you don't want to use your great material with people who are going to be going up before you or anything like that. So I feel like you can be friendly with people, but just like not get too close with them, especially they're your peers, but they're your competitors.
I mean, I wouldn't necessarily call. I mean, there's only like 3 other girls, and I'm not competing with men for spots. It's just like not.
But what I mean is you might say something really funny that you could use yourself, and then some Nick Ortolani dude is going to be like, all right, well, when Liz isn't here for an open mic, I'm going to definitely use this frowning vagina thing and then make it his.
That's fine. He can have it if he wants it. I'll just come up with something else.
You're like, I'll just grow another vagina.
Right, and the Nick Ortolani stealing my second vagina joke would just be implausible.
You would show up
Because
to
he doesn't
a bar
even
and
have
be
one
like,
vagina.
so I have 3 vaginas.
Yeah, exactly. Well, yeah. I don't know. I don't know. It would be nice to make some friends. It would be nice to like grow myself a little bit of a social network. So I think I'm gonna try and be nicer. But
I think that's a good policy, and I think as usual, like anything in life, you know, like just keep doing what you're doing, building
Yeah.
yourself up, doing your
Right.
job, you know, hanging in there.
yeah, and it's like I look forward to it. Like it's just gotten incrementally better like as time has gone on. So like why wouldn't I just keep doing what I'm doing?
You know, going back to what you had said earlier about how, you know, you got into the cab, busted ass over the open mic night, and kind of like shoehorned your way back into the lineup,
Yeah.
I would have fucking totally bailed.
Yeah, dude. I
That was-
like I don't
that was
know
a-
what.
That's a power move. Now I'm putting myself in your position. Like,
Yeah. It was just like I feel it makes me feel really good because it's like those are the moments where I really doubt myself. Like it went in a clutch. Like what am I gonna do? Like
yeah, that's a clutch move.
yeah, exactly. So I felt like really sort of good and proud about that.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so it was good.
I mean, you didn't pay the cab driver once he took you to the right
No,
bar. You
of
got
course
it.
not.
Fuck
And he
you.
chased me into the club, and him screaming at me. A lot of people thought that was laughter, but no, it was just my cab driver screaming at me.
But how fucking sick would that be if you like dropped a couple of like awesome jokes and then got chased off the stage by a fucking
Yeah.
screaming cab driver?
But then he
Totally.
laughs and like claps for you, and then the second you're done, he fucking chases after you.
That
She's
would be like a
"Why
viral
that second
moment.
vagina too.
He's like, well, you better use that second vagina to help pay for the fucking meter out
Right.
there.
They're like, I'm on it.
It looks like we're running a little short on
Oh,
time.
shiza. I
you guys
gotta
wanna
go,
do-
y'all.
Okay. My pick for the day is Dan Carlin's podcast, Common Sense. You should listen
Coming in
to
sideways.
Coming in Sideways.
Also
Also.
called Coming in sideways.
Anyway, I love you guys.
Love you
Love you
guys.
too.
My pick of the week is disuse.
Dan Carlin, pick of the week. My pick of the week, Tina Fey, Amy Poehler. What?
I love you guys. We're aiming for Wednesday.
Right.
Disuse.
Wednesday.